not an easy way to get through the bracket today for Georgia. And these teams played 4 games yesterday. This is now the 3rd one they'll play today. Georgia's 3-2 winners in the quarterfinal game earlier against Connecticut before the 5-4 win against Massachusetts. We are underway here in the 2028 championship game. And we're going to look at Georgia moving from right to left in the red uniforms against New York Upstate Blue.
Got the stick swap from the draw stick to the offensive stick there. Right at the top of the box. Well coordinated.
Ball briefly on the deck, recovered by Bryce Burkholz from Cumming, Georgia. West Forsyth High School. And these are rising freshmen. First take court, goal, and it's in goal. Hazel Shipley, 51 seconds deep. The team from down south strike first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it's nice to see her not giving up on that play. Popped out of her stick, stayed on it, and was able to find the back of the net. I mean, it's a look inside, misses the handle on the first one, but snaps it straight away. Boom, right into the back of the net.
We've had 2 very different games to start our day here in Delaware at the American Select. Offense came at a premium in Game 1 in a 3-2 final. Defense came at a premium in Game 2, 16 combined goals. And it is a quick start for the team from Georgia. It's another swift draw control victory for Georgia. They are under the guidance of Tim Parinello. And we told you a couple of 1-goal victories today. On the other side for New York Upstate, the 4-0 victory in the semifinal. They squeaked by 3-2 in the quarterfinal against Massachusetts Red. So really some of these games, kind of just a flip of the coin. One team gets the better break late in the game, and because of that, well, they are here and the other team is not.
Well, I think we saw that in the 26 game too. I mean, that game was a really tight game with the score, and there's another one finding the back of the net.
This time, Burkholz buries. 2 quick goals for Georgia, just 2.5 minutes deep, provided by Shifley and Burkholz.
But like I was saying in the 26 game, that was a really tight game, and that's just getting to your spot, finding the back of the net, put it where the goalie's not. Did a great job of keeping her head up. But I think that Pennsylvania was the better team, and I think they could have won that game by 3 or 4 goals, but that wasn't the end result. So I mean, out here you got to finish the games, you got to play the full 40 minutes. So obviously a ton of lacrosse left in this one. But if you're Upstate, you saw what happened in that last game, so you got to stop the bleeding before it gets too bad.
Yeah, the bleeding got a lot worse in the second quarter in our previous game. 8-0 the halftime score in favor of Long Island Black. That game would start to neutralize in the second half. A 4-4 final 20 minutes. First draw control win for New York Upstate. And we'll get a look at the blue offense for the first time in this 2028 championship game.
A great opportunity here for an answer. I mean, I like going into the offense, get the correct personnel, run through your plays. 2-0 is nothing. You go out there and try and get one back here, but take a little bit of the momentum back, take the air out of the ball, catch your breath, and go out there and try and put one in the back of the net.
Marquardt taking the circuitous route. Possession will continue here for Upstate Blue, backed up in the back 10. Lucy Bessar. O'Brien doing a little tipping and diving through the double team. Tomini.
Real
Stand-up
active defense
so
by
far,
Georgia.
yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. Everything at the perimeter so far, forced by that strong nucleus of the Georgia D. Marquardt, number 57, has been active, and they score. It may have been O'Brien. And on their first possession, it's a goal. New York has had the lead.
Well, that's exactly how you draw it up. I mean, take your time, take some time off the clock, take some of the momentum away from Georgia, and then put one in the back of the net. And you see a little bit of a defensive breakdown, some ball watching on the backside. Nice cut, nice find, excellent finish. That's a good piece of lacrosse right there.
Well, I figured it wouldn't be long before New York Upstate got on the board. Didn't really have the ball yet after Georgia had won the first two draws.
Yeah. Well, and that's when that happens, right? Defenders get a little impatient. They sort of get lulled to sleep when you have a nice, 2-3 minute possession. And then you can start getting them on the back cuts when they start to ball watch, when they start to lose track of their offensive players. So that's a really good strategy there by Upstate Blue.
On draw control number 4 goes to New York Upstate. And if the first 3 meant anything, well, then they should tie the game. Draw control has equaled goal. And they're swiftly back into the offensive third here at the DE Turf in Milford, Delaware. And a whistle here. I was going to surmise possible timeout at first. Certainly does not look like that. So we play on. Rotation continues here for New York Upstate. Not quite in hold it for the final shot territory, but they're in no rush under 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, just going through their set here. See them, they've been, at least we've only seen them on offense really, but they're wanting to attack, it looks like, from behind the goal. Kind of going through some rotations here, maybe see if they can lull this defense to sleep again. Maybe see if they can get a switch, get the matchup they want to on the one-on-one, run some pick plays on the backside. And that created some space right there on the front.
O'Brien from the short side, a leaping effort. I don't think it ever got on cage. And the defense of Kelly Karavish, was going to be able to force the turnover, but it's back in the hands of Upstate.
Well, I think you see the offense coming through. They keep running that rotation, and they were waiting for one of the defenders to be slow on the switch or slow coming across the front of the goal there. And that's what created that extra space. And it's a little bit of a, kind of a rub pick where you're just kind of getting in the way. You're not even necessarily even making any contact, but you're forcing the defender to take a little wider route. And that frees the space up there on the near side. You can get above GLE and try and get that shot off. GLE, of course, goal line extended.
Lengthy possession continues.
I mean, now they're getting towards hold for the last shot territory.
For the cage, defense first to it. That was Burkholz, who already has a goal in this game. Making an impact on both sides of the field. That's Kendall Moan doing some of that dirty work. Could not hang on to possession. Marquardt.
Yeah, it was great body positioning there to get that ground ball. Big opportunity to tie things up, get a momentum goal going into the quarter.
Quick save and a beauty
That was a great save.
Susie McElhaney preserving the 1-goal lead for Georgia. Attempted to twist it back to the offensive zone. And now through the neutral zone with speed, it's Petula. Final seconds, no shot. A highly contested first 10 minutes. Georgia 2, New York Upstate 1. And we'll take you to the second quarter when we return here in the 2028 American Select Championship game on Lacrosse TV.
Great start to this game in the first quarter. Georgia got off to a great start with 2 quick goals, and then Upstate responded with 1. Look for Marquardt, Beckwith, and O'Brien to keep responding and leading this Upstate offense. And look for Susie McElhaney in cage for Georgia to keep leading that Georgia defense. Excited for this game to start to break open here in the second quarter. Back to you, John.
Georgia 2, New York Upstate 1. 10 minutes running clock here in the second quarter. Again, our officials do have the power to stop that clock, especially late in the quarters with some infractions. For now, the running clock continues as we're underway. Moving from right to left, Upstate Blue. Draw controls have meant goals in the first quarter. They win the first one here.
Yeah, big opportunity here. You'd love to see this Upstate team tie this game up. They've shown that they can be patient and they can wait to get the shots that they want to get. And you speak towards like contrasting styles, and this Upstate team is very patient. They're waiting for the looks that they want. This Georgia squad, real athletic, wants to get up and down the field, wants to get through some transition. So it'd be interesting to see how they continue to stand up defensively against a team that's trying to put them to sleep.
Beckwith flings it to the near side. Kubrick plays pass with Beckwith. We have seen a lot of New York representation in our first 3 games today. Accentuated, of course, by Game 2, Long Island Black and their 12-goal victory, 12-4. Beckwith from Liverpool scores. Upstate has tied the game. Maura Beckwith meandering through defenders. It is 2-2, fewer than 2 minutes into the second.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want if you're Upstate. I mean, you go there, you work through your rotations, look for the offensive spot. A little bit slow on the help defense coming down, nothing coming across the crease to help. And able to, put it where the goalie's not and put that one in the back of the net. Nice patient offense that, just like that takes 2 minutes off the clock.
First goal of the championship game for Beckwith. I told you, from Liverpool, suburb just outside of Syracuse. That is a long ways from anywhere in Georgia. As you noted a little earlier, Chris, kind of cool to see 2 teams in different spots within the East Coast, after having a New York, New Jersey matchup in game number 2. Beckwith, who scored the goal, right back to the center circle. Can she win the draw? Bouncing ball toward the red crease. And it is won by Upstate in the form of Nora Kubrick.
Yeah, they're winning the ground ball game right now, creating more opportunities. I mean, they could take this down to 5 minutes, maybe put another one in the back of the net, and that'll be a long stretch without seeing the Georgia offense. So not only does it make this Georgia defense tired, trying to keep up for a couple of minutes, but it also takes any of the rhythm out of what Georgia's trying to do on offense. It's a very, very methodical approach to the game so far from Upstate.
Upstate remaining patient on offense. Esau. Marquardt back to the bucket. He scores. The old basketball move from Grace Marquardt, who backed down the defender, curled and scored. Back-to-back tallies by Upstate, and they've grabbed the lead 3-2.
Yeah, it's just good patience. And so now we're closing in on, probably close to halfway through this quarter, and there hasn't been a single possession on a single bit of offensive possession for Georgia. I mean, it's great clock management. They're waiting for the shot they want. That's good body control. It's very difficult to get a good shot off like that when you're having to hold off the defender. You're falling away a little bit from the goal there. That's a high degree of difficulty. Great work.
Just trying to get these two draw control takers all set. Swift waiting for Upstate, but they can't control. Taken in the neutral zone by Georgia in the form of Burkholtz, who has already scored once.
It'll be interesting to see Georgia's approach here on offense. Whether they're going to try and give their defense a little bit of a break here by taking some time off, or if they're going to be more aggressive and try and tie this game up. I mean, still plenty of lacrosse left to be played. Obviously, still in the second quarter, but it'll be interesting to see how they approach this offensive set.
We're getting a sense this game is going to fall somewhere in between our first two games from today. The game that had 5 combined goals, and then the game that had 16 combined goals. Low shot that got a piece of the post. And boy, has there been any more reliable player today than the orange pipe?
Yeah, it just doesn't move. Doesn't matter how many times you shoot at it. It's always, in a position to make those shots around the edges of the goal, or make those saves rather.
Yeah, stagnant yet effective.
It's important to have good positioning and to be consistent.
We had a pair of goalies take home the co-MVP awards in our first game today, class of 2027. That was for Pennsylvania Blue. Georgia lost it, but regathers. And all of a sudden, only 3:45 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, time really flies off the clock with the running clock. And I think, too, they liked that ISO look. They were trying to stack up, get some picks going on the backside, find those cutters, and that's exactly what they're looking for.
Oh, there's the cutter, but a great save.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what they were looking for. They got a good shot. I think maybe she had a little bit more time. She could have taken, I think, an additional step, maybe thrown a fake in there. But that's just a good save. There's nothing wrong with that shot. There's nothing wrong with that cut. Good look, good pass, good offense. Goalie just came up with the save there. And I think, as you get deeper into the age groups here, obviously the 26 and 27's a little bit more polished than these squads, but there's plenty of time. I mean, they're playing at a very high level for their age group, but you see that's the next component that comes in. When we're watching the 26s, there's that little extra fake that you'd see from Faye. She's coming in on the shots across the front where she'd shoot low and then she'd shoot high, and so the goalie can't predict what she's going to do. And those are the pieces that you add to your game when you're playing against better players. When you see better players in person, you pick up on the things that make them good. And this is a great opportunity for some of these younger girls to see those girls who are going to the big Division I programs, who are playing at a high level in person, get a chance to talk to them, get a chance to see what they're doing well, and pick up on some of the habits that great players have.
Well, and as noted, still 4 more years for all of these players to kind of tinker and improve their game before having to even worry about college. Rising freshmen here, the class of 2028, and some of the best in the country. Final 2 minutes, first half.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that any rising freshman that's playing here likely has an eye on potentially being a college player.
Just over 100 seconds remaining. Georgia looking to turn the field. Against the tie before the break. There was a brief yellow card issued to Addison Ussery So Georgia was behind the 8 ball for a moment, but back in form here. And we dip under the minute marker.
Well, I suspect there's probably some players out there that play other sports. You look at the, Kenzie Kents and the Maggie Bills of the world out playing two collegiate sports at Division I level. It's, always great to see athletes playing multiple sports at a higher level. I think that you should avoid specializing as long as you can. I think it helps with injury prevention. Keeps you from burning out doing the same thing all the time. So I love to see athletes that play multiple sports, and I know college coaches do too.
So again, running clock, but late in quarters, we'd seen if there's infractions, they will stop the clock. So 12.4. Georgia just slightly offset to the left. For a pre-position shot. Toward goal. In goal. Kelsey Murray ties the game and she beats the buzzer. 8.8 ticks remaining, and we are deadlocked at 3.
Yeah, it's a big momentum goal. They didn't play very much offense here in the second quarter, so it's important to capitalize on opportunities, like an 8-meter shot towards the center. Good composure, feels the pressure from the defender coming, still able to get the shot off, changes the plane on the bouncer. That's exactly how you draw it up.
Murray, the midfielder from Peachtree Corners, Georgia, which sounds very Georgia. She'll be attending has attended Northwestern Middle School. Again,
Yeah, I'd say that's as Georgia as it gets.
Final draw control of the first half. And stay with us. Once we hit triple zeros, Deemer class will be joined by some of the coaching staffs on both sides. We'll get you first half highlights and quickly get you set for the third quarter.
Nearly got the shot off there. The time end.
So a championship game as expected. 20 minutes down, 20 to go, at least 20 to go. New York Upstate Blue 3, Georgia 3 for two teams that are trying to run the table in what has now become for them a 7-game tournament over the course of less than 48 hours.
I'm here with Upstate 2028 coach Bridget Marquardt. Coach, what did you see in that first half?
I think we're tired. Been here for 2 days. But we made some key adjustments on the draw. We had possessions we just didn't finish. So I think we need to capitalize on these possessions.
What's the message to the team going in the second half to get the win?
You gotta play smart. We're tired, so I think you gotta be as smart as you go hard. You can't control a lot of things, so can control what you can control. And we got here for a reason, so we just gotta finish it.
Awesome. Best of luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Back to you, John.
I think this first possession is more important. If I'm looking at it to Georgia, Upstate's done a really good job of controlling the pace of play. And if I'm Georgia, I want to try and take back some of that control, because right now, obviously the score is tied, but it seems like Upstate's in control of the game. So take some of that control back, force them to play at a higher rate, take advantage of the fact that they're tired, and go out there and try and increase the pace of play.
Well, we've seen the importance of draw controls, and it is a quick and swift victory for Georgia. The team in red from down south now attacking left. The team in blue from upstate New York protecting left. Georgia did have a 2-1 lead in the second quarter. Back-to-back goals by Upstate made it 3-2. And the red squad had the final tally with 8.8 seconds remaining. Burke holds. Already
think
with one goal.
we're seeing this Georgia squad kind of rely more on their athletes. Not as much organization on the offensive side. FCC trying to get through some of the pick plays and then try and take advantage of those one-on-one matchups. But that's a shot that you expect the goalie to make. I mean, you're right about on the run, coming across the middle at about the 8-meter. You'd like to get in a little tighter, try and create a little bit better opportunity for scoring.
Marley Reed's opportunity, which may have been sailing wide either way, but McElhaney put it into her cross. Looking for the outlet pass. It is there right down the seam. Upstate going downhill. A little too much on the pass. Winds up this time in the other goaltender's cross, Mary McElroy.
And that was a good double there. Came out Georgia's way. Potential for a numbers opportunity here if they want it. Nice recovery on defense.
That was Morgan Daly who did most of the sprinting. And again, Georgia in no rush. They will set up their personnel here. 2+ minutes into the third quarter. Neither team has had a multiple goal lead. Whistle here with Burkholz hitting the deck. And Burkholz remains down at the moment. She has been one of, maybe if not the best player in this game, in this class of 2028 championship game. Scored an early goal in the first quarter. Good look here from our production folks.
But she did well to even get that one off. But like that's sort of you're keeping your arms up to try and get the shot off, and you're not able to brace your fall as much as you'd like. So looks like probably just got the wind knocked out of her.
Burkholz missed the net. Had defenders on either side. And with that running clock, we trend towards the 6-minute marker here in the third quarter. Still tied 3-3. Lengthy possession here from Georgia. And a quick tip of the hat to John Salem and our production folks, giving you all the sights and sounds. They were during our quadruple header at the DE Turf in Delaware.
And just a little bit too aggressive there on the defense.
Burkholz gets moving. And again, just a little bit off cage. No harm done, though. Backed up by her teammate in the far side corner. That's Elaine Barlow.
Yeah, Burkholz certainly not afraid to uncork it. And she's been able to get her hands free pretty consistently. Just needs to start hitting the 6x6.
Katula gets moving. Katula in on goal. She scores. Caroline Katula making it look easy. And Georgia goes back in front 4-3.
Well, that's exactly what they needed. There's no better way to push the pace of play than to score goals. I mean, you'll force Upstate to play a little faster if they need to get back. But that's just waiting until you have a great shot. She's able to get by her defender. She protects her stick from the double, throws the fakes in, changes the play, and gets the goalie moving, and then just puts it where she's not.
Just past the halfway marker here in the third quarter. Another important draw control. Georgia goes back in front. A back and forth game of runs here. The types of games you kind of come to expect here at the American Select Championships. A little bit of a blip on the radar in our game 2. The 12-4 victory for Long Island Black. Swift and quick win for Upstate. Maura Beckwith, who has a goal as well. has been a key cog in this now 6.5 game tournament for NY Upstate.
I think if you're Upstate, stick to your plan here and do what's working for you. You still got another quarter of action there to play. You take another 2 minutes off the clock, like we've seen them consistently do on their offensive sets, and a lot of those have ended in a goal. But if Georgia is able to put together a 2 or 3 goal lead, that'll really force their hand in terms of the pace that they need to play at. But I don't think you need to do that until you get down a couple of goals.
Well, tight margins in our first game, tight margins here in our third game. As you noted, tough for either team to really string multiple goals or kind of get on a 3 or 4 goal push here. Flip out to the front, Beckwith. Quick one touch, couldn't put it down.
Yeah, that's a nice look inside. And again, they're finding those spots where defense gets to be ball watching a little bit. She was open, nice quick stick to get that one. Just missed the cage. I think if she hits the cage, that one's probably going in. It's very difficult to get in front of one of those shots from in that tight.
Short side effort goes over the cage. Megan O'Brien crashing towards that near side post. She also has one of the 3 goals for Upstate.
Yeah, and that's McElroy taking an aggressive step, keeping the stick high, and forcing the shot over the cage. I mean, that's a great. It's not going to show up as a save in the stat book, but she moved the offensive player enough to disrupt the shot to force that miss. That's a save in my personal record book.
Those count too.
Absolutely.
A lot of time taken away. No harm done. We're trailing by 1. Still a whole other quarter left to go. A lot of off-ball movement. Unsurprisingly, the ball safely in the cross of Maura Beckwith. Sizes up the defender.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2.5 seconds. They've taken off the clock already on this possession. 2.5 minutes. So, I mean, they're so patient. But I mean, sticking to the game plan. I mean, that's trusting your coach, trusting your teammates. And it's been effective for them so far, obviously.
Marquardt lost it. Possession regathered by Lucy Besaw. Time continues to tick. We do get a whistle. First, we've called on Sienna McDonald.
Yeah, and they started this possession at, over 4 minutes left on the clock. So stealing any of the, momentum that Georgia had gotten themselves from that goal. I mean, you're just sitting and watching on the far side.
Well,
it's
like
tough
you
to get
noted
into rhythm.
In games prior, right? If Upstate Blue has the ball, at least Georgia is not scoring.
Yeah. Hard to score when you're on defense.
Little hop in the step of Megan O'Brien. Tried to pump it back to the point. Recovered by Impergia.
Well, it's the sort of thing, too, where it's like you can't even, accuse them of wasting time. I mean, they're going through their offense. They're getting good shots. They're just not converting. They're missing the frame, or, the goalie's disrupting the shot. So see if they get one off here.
Final second. Did I get the shot off? It's in. Does it count?
Counting it. Yeah. Refs are counting it.
Oh, that was tight. For now, it counts, and we are tied 4-4.
That's a big-time goal. Great clock awareness. They weren't going to stop the clock here in the third quarter, running to the 8-meter to get it off. I thought for sure she was going to shoot that, but great cut inside. That one finds the back of the net. Quick finish. I mean, the hands go up immediately from that far side official. He's closer to the scoreboard than we are. He obviously heard the horn, saw that one hit the net before the horn hit his ear. So that one's going to stay on the board.
Second goal of the game for Mark Hart. It ties the game in 90 seconds. We'll return with Deemer Class in the fourth quarter of the 2028 championship game at the American Select on Lacrosse TV.
One goal apiece in that third quarter. We're tied up 4-4 heading into the fourth. You can feel the importance of each possession hanging in the balance here. Stay tuned for the action. Excited for this fourth quarter here. Back to you, John.
Yeah, this first possession is going to be important. I mean, we just saw, Upstate bleed 4.5 minutes off and then cap it off with a goal in the final second of the quarter. If they can do something like that again here, you'd be talking about, close to 15 minutes of just standing for the Georgia offense. And like I said, they haven't been able to get into any sort of rhythm offensively, and it's because Upstate's controlling the pace of the game. It's a really, masterclass on kind of all-star coaching for this squad. Understanding the assignment, as the kids might say.
Something I wouldn't know anything about.
Let's go look inside. Just missed the frame.
Well, both of these teams very patient offensively. Trying to take what the defense is giving them, but I don't think the defense is giving them too much in the first three quarters of this championship matchup.
Well, I think that's partly a product of these possessions. They're not getting bad shots, but the defense and the goalie are making it difficult to score. And that's extending the possessions as well, but they're also being really patient. You got to do, something like that to score a goal.
It's O'Brien again, and she strikes in the fourth quarter. 5-4 New York with 8:20 and counting here in what may be the final quarter.
And this is a footwork goal. This is the kind of thing that you do during practice, over and over and over again to get her feet moving. A little bit of wasted space when she's wasted movement when she's coming around, but she knew exactly what she wanted to do coming into that dodge. Turns around, switches hands, gets that one in the back of the net. That's one that she's done, hundreds of times at practice to get ready for this exact moment.
O'Brien, who competes for Monster Elite on the club circuit from Honeoye Falls in upstate New York. She has given her team a 1-goal lead. Upstate has not had a multiple goal lead in this game.
Another one for Upstate. And the way that the pace is going right now, it's if another Upstate possession after this, and it feels like 2 goals is insurmountable because they just can't get the ball on the offensive side.
We spoke about the importance of those draw controls. Great ball movement. Streaker comes through, doesn't get the feed. And many times in this game, the winner of the draw control has had the next goal. As you noted, you get a feel here in the fourth quarter as we near the midway point. A 6-4 score gives you an awfully different vibe than 5-5. Goal. So it is 6-4 and not 5-5. It's 2 quick ones here in the fourth quarter by New York.
That's just good awareness, right? You're starting on the restart. A nice little back cut. You recognize your defender, has gone to sleep a little bit. You're able to get inside, take that championship step, throw the fake, put that one in the back of the net. But I think, you might be able to talk some of that up to, fatigue, mentally and physically. When you're having to play this much defense, it's tough to stay fresh. And they've been playing defense for 10 full minutes of game clock. So it's a lot of activity to try and follow the ball, follow the offensive player that you need to, and then just continuing to have to move your feet. And I think we're seeing some of that come into play on that goal.
Maura Beckwith back at it again. And the good times roll on here for New York Upstate, who really have just not given much possession to Georgia here in the fourth quarter. And we've seen them go with we'll call it 2-3 minute possessions. They put one together here, they may be able to put this game out of reach.
Yeah. I mean, they can. We saw at the end of the third quarter where they took more than 4 minutes off the clock. Obviously, you get under 2 minutes here in the fourth quarter, you'll see some stoppages, so it'll be more difficult to do. But I mean, you can certainly take another couple of minutes off and then push the lead to 3, and that'll be a tall hill to climb.
Start to see Georgia stretching that defensive perimeter.
Yeah, definitely getting more aggressive here. There's the pass off there. Let's see if this is the matchup they're looking for.
And now the line we've joked about really comes into play here. If Georgia doesn't possess, so they can't score, and they need to score twice. 4:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and that's exactly what the coach alluded to at halftime. It's like, we need possession. And I haven't been keeping the percentages of possession, but I'd have to think it's 70 or better in terms of the total time of possession for this Upstate Blue squad. And that's a really good timeout. You call the timeout, you can take some more time to rest here, maybe get some different bodies in there on offense, and then take another 90 seconds to 2 minutes off the clock.
3 minutes and 52 seconds away, we believe, from crowning our third champion today at the American Select here in the heart of Delaware. Unless we are tied at the end of regulation. One of our representatives in our final game of the day, class of 2029, is Pennsylvania 2029. A 4-3 victory over New York Upstate, who were 1 goal away from playing in back-to-back championship games. We wait now on Maryland Red and Long Island Black to decide our final championship game, the class of 2029. Here it is, the class of 2028. This is Chris Marshall. I'm Johnny Wincott. Deemer Class on the sidelines. We will hear from him during our post game. And it depends on which team is going to eke out the winner here. All goals in the fourth quarter have belonged to New York. They have been better later in the game, Chris.
Yeah, I think you look at these squads and the way they're playing. I think Georgia's playing well. They just can't get the ball, and it's difficult because the fact that they've only allowed 6 goals, when you look at the actual time of possession and some of the shots that New York Upstate has been able to get off, they're playing well. It's just they're not able to score goals because they can't get the ball on the offensive side. But for the amount of time they've been on defense, it's impressive that they've only allowed 6.
You can hear some of the Southern supporters. All out Georgia. Well, again, they need a lasso possession free from a dangerous offensive team in New York Upstate. They've got fewer than 4 minutes to make up a 2-goal deficit here in the final.
Well, and they're going to the double team now. So recognizing that it's going to be difficult for them, or recognizing that it has been difficult for them to score goals. And trying to get the ball back.
That's Lucy Bisa doing the east-west running.
We'll see when they opt into pulling the goalie.
Again, Headsey plays. Mature plays by such young players. We saw it in the last game as well. Opportunities to score, but knowing the game situation, not a lot of time left on the clock. We'd rather have possession than maybe get another goal. And we go under the 3-minute marker. this possession goes over the 3-minute marker.
Yeah, and this is where the clock game makes sense. I mean, you start playing the clock game when you've got a lead in the third quarter. Maybe it's a little too soon, but right now, I mean, they could take all this time off. I mean, considering the way the game has been going, I mean, you have to assume that that's probably what they're going to try and do.
Lexi Corcoran picking up some speed. She will gladly show off the wheels with a 2-goal lead and just over 2 minutes remaining. Fresh legs for number 51.
So she's going to get an opportunity here from the 8-meter.
And now it's almost similar to an end of a soccer game. No one in any particular hurry here in blue. And Corcoran gives way to Peasaw again. Well, there was the opportunity for Georgia. Not a great one, but Upstate doesn't give you many. Ball did hit the turf for a moment, but gathered quick enough to keep the possession moving.
Well, and they're doing a pretty good job of, getting out and pressing and doubling, but it's like hard to do it for this long. I mean, you need, Upstate to make a mistake, and they just haven't. I mean, just precision work from the squad.
Turn to run sideline to sideline.
I mean, it's not the most exciting brand, more strategy, but it sure is effective, and it's what I'd be doing. So hard to critique it.
But trophies are exciting.
Yeah, of course it is.
And Upstate now 35 seconds away from being able to hoist theirs. And really a masterful 9.5 minutes from New York Upstate Blue in this fourth quarter. Georgia just simply has hardly had possession.
Well, it's 15 minutes with no possession. I mean, it's almost impossible to win games. And then icing on the cake to finish this one off. Cherry on top.
Accentuated by Maura Beckwith, who has been such an integral part of this team and their winning ways over the last 2 days. So after they waste time for 5+ minutes of a possession, it's a cold, hard strike to the top right corner.
Yeah, that's just nice. She's practiced that. She's got the little hop step, body fake, and then just slams it right into the corner.
One final draw control now with a 3-goal cushion for New York Upstate. They are on the verge of being our third champion today on this championship Saturday at the American Select. Not a whole lot of rest for Maura Beckwith. Again, playing her 7th game, fewer than 2 days. She just scored, and she's back to the draw control. And she wins it for good measure.
See if they try and sneak one more in here. To just run it behind.
Mature maneuver as New York Upstate is your 2028 champion at the American Select.